Welcome to our session today. My name is Gerber. We'll talk a little bit about that. We are here today to learn the 5 best ways to make your personalization super creepy. Or we may even learn how to avoid them if that's what you would prefer to do as marketers. All right? I will warn you ahead. Thank you. I will warn you ahead of time. I'm a big, I love to get you folks involved, so warm up your arm because I'm going to be asking lots of questions and voting and that kind of thing, so just don't be surprised. All right. So first, just a little bit about me. I head up product marketing for Folloze. I've done product marketing for lots of companies. There's actually kind of a consistent theme here, and that is I'm not like an AI scientist, a nerd or something like that, but I love artificial intelligence, seeing how it can be applied to solve real-world problems. So there's kind of a consistent flow here, Folloze and Conversica and Visa and Autonomic, companies that also apply artificial intelligence to solve real problems for real companies. So I enjoy that, and that's what I'm doing. As I mentioned, I work for Folloze, just a little bit about the company, then we'll move on. So what Folloze does is we, as you would imagine, take lots of different kinds of data, mingle it in with artificial intelligence to create this super personalized experience for every single one of your customers, and then work with you to move it across multiple channels. And we do that for all sorts of interesting and exciting companies. And it creates this hyper-personalized customer journey for your customers, but at any scale, not just onesie, twosies, because you've got artificial intelligence helping you. A little bit about you. No, it's like we're not so personalized that I know. No, but, so show of hands. Who here is involved in marketing? Okay, what are the odds? Who here is not involved in marketing? Anybody? No? Okay, just curious. Who here, I am curious, so you're all involved with marketing. Who here has a personalization strategy? Personalization is an important part of what you're trying to do in your marketing. Anyone? Just okay, handful, maybe a third of you. Interesting, okay. The rest of you, it'll probably come up pretty soon, okay? We're going to start with a story. A story. There once upon a time was a little girl who loved dolls. She loved dolls. She had the collection of dolls in her room, all the walls, up on the shelves, and in the closet, you know, that kid, right? She had all, that was you. Okay, fair enough. She had all the dolls. So one day she's out shopping around, you know, and she happens upon this store that she doesn't remember seeing before. And so she walks in. And it's a knick-knack store, and there's all sorts of knickknacks here, and bric-a-brac, and weird old dusty stuff there. But she notices in the very back corner, kind of dark, kind of dank and dusky, sitting on a shelf is a doll. And she goes up, and it's like the most beautiful doll she's ever seen. She picks up the doll. She has to have this doll. So she goes to the proprietor and says, I have to have, she doesn't even know if she has enough money for this thing, but she's got to have the doll. So she goes to the proprietor. I have to have this doll. And the proprietor says, I would not sell you that doll, she says. For all the money in the world, I would not give you that doll. And she's like, oh, but why? I love this doll. This doll's wonderful. She said, no, she says, you cannot have that doll. I won't sell you that doll because that doll is, who said it? Haunted. The doll is haunted. The girl is she doesn't care. No, I have to have this doll. It's beautiful. I want the doll. No, I would not sell you a haunted doll. The girl goes back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, the proprietor gets so sick of this that she says, I'm going to give you the doll. I won't take your money for it. It's haunted. When you find out the doll is haunted, don't come back to me and complain. The girl's elated. Picks up the doll, hugs the doll, runs out of this house store. Oh, she's so happy she has her doll. runs all the way home, excited with her doll. Gets to her apartment building, runs into the apartment building with her doll, pushes a button, the doors open for the elevator, she gets in, hugs the doll, the doors close, and nothing happens. And the elevator's still. And she's thinking, no, this has nothing to do with the doll. The doll's not haunted or anything, couldn't be. And then the doll's head starts to turn towards her. She's like, oh my God, I don't know what. And the doll's head tips back to her. She's like, oh my God, I'm stuck in the elevator with this doll. The doll's haunted. And the doll's eyes flick open at her. She's like, no. And a deep voice rumbles from inside the doll. And the doll says, push the button if you want to go up, idiot. So that's our creepy story for the day. Thank you. All right, creepy story. Creepy Halloween, creepy personalization. We talk a lot about creepy, I think, as marketers, especially modern marketers. So what is creepy, though? Why was that story creepy? Why are the pumpkins and the jack-o'-lanterns creepy? What is creepy? Let's go to the world-esteemed authority on such things, Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster actually has a couple of definitions for creepy. The first one is creepy. 1, producing a nervous, shivery apprehension. Producing a nervous, shivery apprehension. We're all human here. I'm not even ask. Everyone here has felt that feeling at one time or another, right? Shivery apprehension. Okay. Like that. Okay. Examples of creepy. Clowns. Who here finds clowns creepy? Yeah, exactly. Let's look at another example. Creepy dolls, right? Fits into our story perfectly. Creepy dolls. Oh my gosh, from the dank store. What else? Apparitions. Apparitions. Who here finds the concept of apparitions creepy? Has anyone here ever seen an apparition? I usually have like one person. Yeah? Really? Was it creepy? Yeah. Okay. I usually have one person in the room. It's amazing. Apparitions. Creepy. God. I don't even know what the hell that is. But I saw the picture and it was like, this belongs in a deck full of creepy things. Okay, yeah. Oh, letter from the IRS. Super creepy. Okay. Give me the creepy doll anytime. Okay. So those are all creepy. I think we can universally kind of agree. Some more, some less to each of us. But they're all creepy. But why? Why are they creepy? What's consistent from one to the other that kind of makes this universal, this human experience of creepiness? Let's take a look. There's something actually interesting. We maybe kind of innately think we know what's creepy, but quantifying it and putting numbers around it is hard. But there was a Japanese roboticist back in the 70s. His name was Masahiro Mori. Masahiro Mori, Japanese roboticist. And he observed something which I find quite interesting. I wanted to share with you. Japanese roboticist, and what he observed is this. As things get more and more human-like, people's emotional response to them goes up, okay? Which kind of innately makes some sense, right? So for example, if something like totally doesn't look human at all, a toaster, an industrial robot, the projector, right? No human response. You're not kind of like, oh, I wonder what it's thinking today, right? And it goes up, as you get more and more. An example here may be like a car, right? We've all seen in the headlights, we've all seen the eyes and and all this stuff. It's no more animate than the toaster, but you actually feel a little more bound with it, right? It's a human thing, all right? So Masahiro Mori noticed that as things become more human-like, humans are more inclined to engage with them. Also interesting, later studies have found this isn't strictly human. It works for monkeys too. And it keeps on going. Tapers a little bit, but as you get all the way up there, eventually you approach something that is actually fully human. And of course, we tend to fully engage with humans. Show of hands, who here actually likes humans? Okay, good sign. Sometimes we get a room full of marketers and people are like, okay, you need to pick a different field. Fair enough, all the way up. So that kind of all makes sense, right? So here you've got toaster, industrial robot. Here you've got car with the kind of eye headlights. Here you've got other things, and here you've got full-on people. Engage, engage, engage. What Mori found out that was really interesting is not very human, good. Kind of human, okay, interesting. More and more human, interesting. More and more human, all the way up to completely human. But when you get really close to human, but not quite there, it plummets. It plummets. Good, 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 good. Almost like human, but really close, but not there. Boom. And then past that, okay, now we're even more close to human and we're actually human. It's all good. It's all good. Go figure. Lots of studies on this have been done. You can take a look yourself and find out about it. And what Masahiro Mori called it is the uncanny valley. The uncanny valley of emotional response to human likeness. Wild, right? So how do people perceive things? If we're way over on the left, and it's not a human, we pretty much perceive it as clueless, right? It's like, again, it's a toaster. It's an industrial robot. And clueless can be okay, like that. It's a toaster. Clueless can also be like a really negative experience. It could be the voice response unit at your bank, okay? But still clueless, right? You're not actually frustrated with anything that seems like a person. As we move up the ladder and we get more human-like, you get kind of a cool wow factor. We are like Siri. Anybody? Siri? Or Alexa, or Google Voice. Yeah, right. Pretty cool stuff. Obviously not human, but kind of human-like to the point that you go, that's actually pretty cool. Obviously, if it's fully human or really, really close, it's cool, personal. As we all said, we all like people, so that's good. But when you hit the uncanny valley, people perceive it as creepy, right? The creepy doll, clowns, the IRS. All right? So we promised you five ways to make your personalization super creepy. Also how to address it if you're interested. Way number one, personalize by getting really close to human-like. When you personalize your marketing, get as close as you can to human, but don't quite get there. And watch it freak people out. Okay? Number one. Remember I mentioned Merriam-Webster has two definitions for creepy. Two definitions. First one was that. Second one, of relating to or being a creep. Annoyingly unpleasant. Which brings us to marketing. Okay. We saw some examples of the first definition. Let's look at a few examples of this definition, shall we? Hopefully, like nothing that you have sent out ends up here. Okay, this one. Truthfully, I received this one actually it's a couple weeks ago now. While I was building the presentation, this came into my email box, and I thought, manna from heaven. Poor Zachary. What Zachary? Poor Zachary. Let me read this to you. This is a real email that was sent to me at my work trip. Hi, Gary. I had a chance to take a quick look at your offering earlier this week. Wow, did that on my offering. And was curious to hear more about your product vision. Blank, I know, I had the decency to blank the name of the company. It was tempting. Has a huge customer base that initially thought about building versus buying or were already using another platform to bring in the form of analytics functionality into their product. I'd really like to hear if you have any vision around embedded analytics. Would you really like to hear that? Do you have some time this week to jump on a quick call? Here is something our partners put together in a few hours, blah, 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 blah. Best, Zachary. Zachary. All right. So Zachary, I'm thinking, did not put a lot of time into this, making sure it was personalized. More importantly, I suspect Zachary had no idea that some jerk was going to put his thing up on a big slide in a week as a case study of how not to do this. But there it is. All right, show of hands. Show of hands. I do this stuff with, I volunteer with kids a lot too. And I'll say show of hands, and I'm always ready because the kids are always like this before I ask the question. So no, I haven't. All right, go. Show of hands. So this could be kind of, remember, clueless, could be cool wow, could be cool, like cool, or creepy. Who here thinks this is clueless? Oh, Zachary. Yes, good job. Well done, all of you. Nice. Clueless. And your response to it was, I guess I can't give you the finger on here, but your response to it was like, right? What a waste of my time. Okay? So it works. It fits. Okay, let's look at another example. Another real email I received not long ago. I also kept because I thought it was a good example. Hi, Gary. As head of PMM, product marketing, obviously, at Folloze, you don't need me to tell you that the MarTech space is extremely crowded and competitive. So getting great battle cards into your sales reps' hands is critical, but I bet you never have the resources to do it as well as you'd like. At Conversica before, that's where I worked before, and now at Folloze, you showed people how AI could solve their marketing resource challenges. I'm telling you, we can do the same for battle cards. Do you have time for a call this week? Thanks, Adam. Way to go, Adam, right? Show of hands. Clueless? Cool wow? Okay, a few cool wow. Cool, like human cool. Yeah, I agree. It's really personal. But he obviously put a lot of time into doing that. He did some research, and there may have been some automation, but most of that was research and a personal note and references to me. Very nicely done. And my reaction to it was very positive. I actually reached out to him because I thought it was interesting and he'd taken the time. Another example? Who here knows this one? This is a Target story from a few years back. Oh, the rest of you, yeah, okay, you're in for a treat. It's absolutely an awesome story in a horrible, horrible way. Just true story. Target store, I think it was down in Southern California. Man charges into the Target store, furious, furious. Why is he furious at Target? Because Target has been sending his daughter advertisements for things like diapers and cribs and changing tables and things like that. And he's furious, rightly. If they're going to send this kind of crap to your teenage daughter, that's infuriating. Manager apologizes profusely. This goes up to top Target management, escalates, gets in the news. So Target is now making national apologies about this whole thing. Becomes a huge fracas until a few weeks later when the man returns to Target to apologize. You got it. Target had figured out that his daughter was pregnant before he knew. Target had done such an excellent job at pardon the pun, targeting the daughter that they'd figured it out from I mean, we're all marketers, we know how this works, from her other shopping habits, from what websites she's visiting, from all the different things she's doing. They had visibility into this that the father did not, and they figured it out. Where does this belong on our grid? I'm not even going to take the vote. Could this be super creepy? Super creepy, okay? Target really crossed the line. And this is like 2012. So fairly early in this whole personalization thing, they figured it out, but they really blew it. Okay, so we offered you 5 ways. The second way to make sure that your personalization is super creepy is personalize, 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 right to the point that you get way too personal, okay? That's creepy. Target will tell you about it. Okay? Another example, poor Kim's dad. My dad is in assisted living. Today, he received a Christmas basket from the local mortuary. What can you do but throw your hands up? I mean, you know, it's like, oh my gosh. Daily Florida, now here we go, Miami Herald, healthcare. Daily Florida Zika virus tracker. See how the illness, a public health emergency, is cropping up across the state. Oh my God. Where does this belong? It's creepy and clueless. I heard about you got a twofer today. Creepy and clueless. Well done. Creepy and clueless. Therefore, super creepy personalization way number 3, personalize, 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 but do it completely out of the context of the experience of the person you personalized in. Okay? Personalize without considering context at all. Interestingly, creepy. We say creepy, and we say it in a kind of a black and a white way. But of course, like most emotions, creepy isn't black and white. It varies. So if we look, people's tolerance for personalization is actually kind of situational. Right? If you're actually delivering value to the individual, their tolerance for personalization actually goes up pretty dramatically. It tapers, it's not a straight line, but it goes up. So people are willing, subconsciously, to trade away some of their fear of creepiness if they perceive that they're getting value in exchange. Let's look at a couple of examples of this. Real billboard, Michael. GPS tracker, $250. Nikon camera with zoom lens, $1,600. Catching my lying husband and buying this billboard with our investment account, priceless. All right? Deeply personalized, deeply personalized. Do we think that Michael has a high tolerance for this degree of personalization? Thinking no. Low value for Michael. High value for Jennifer, though. So, you know, it's all relative. Second example. Amazon recommendations. Who here likes Amazon recommendations? Everybody loves Amazon recommendations. Okay, we got a kasi here. Fair enough. Amazon recommendations. If you think about it, really, really creepy. They know so much about you, from not just your shopping habits on Amazon, but from all the things you do all over the web. I mean, again, marketers, we know how this works, but take it to the 10th degree, and that's where Amazon is doing it. And yet, we love it. We love it, right? But tolerance for personalization is also affected by other things, not just by the situation, but also the way it's presented. So if we look, Smarter HQ did a survey, and they found out that people, how do people consider the best way to be communicated with by brands, right? Far and away, email was the one they preferred the most. Social media cutting down, mail, text, mobile push. And by the time we get to mobile push and phone call, we're down pretty much near zero. Which isn't shocking, but kind of, It's interesting when you think about the pattern it represents. Email is probably the kind of the least creepy way for someone to reach out to you because you have so much control over it. Rando calling you, super creepy. So this corresponds, people even without somebody saying what's creepy and what isn't, their responses to how they like to be reached out to by brands pretty much correlates with the creepiness quotient. Tolerance for personalization, it's also kind of a balancing act. This makes it tricky. Same company did a different research. They found that 72% of respondents say that they only engage with marketing messages that are tailored to their interests. They don't waste their time on stuff that's obviously generic, obviously not personalized. Awesome. Except those same fickle people also said, in fact, more of them, that they're concerned about their data privacy, and as many of them believe that companies know too much about them. What's a marketer to do? Recognize the fact that despite all of this, people do value personalization, as long as you don't fall into the chasm of creepiness. If you can stay on one side or another of the valley, people want personalization. A study by Periscope, by McKinsey. They asked, what do people find appealing from a personalization perspective? Products related to their interest, high value, right? Similar product recommendations, updates on availability and price. These are things people perceive as high value. They want these things to be personalized for them. Things that just aren't personalized except they just have your name, or about products left in stock that they're not interested in, repeat buyers, things like that. Super low personalization, super low value. They don't want it. And in fact, Gartner says, organizations that have fully invested in all types of online personalization will outsell companies that have not by more than 30%. So for those of you, which was most of you, said you don't have a personalization strategy in place, the time is probably nigh. So your super creepy personalization, way number 4. All right? So why aren't companies personalizing? Why aren't more companies doing it? All right? Boston Consulting did a survey of this and found out these are the primary reasons companies aren't doing personalization. They don't have enough people to dedicate to doing it. They don't have a roadmap, kind of like some of you were saying. They don't know how to approach it. Don't have enough cross-functional coordination, right? You can't just do personalization in one little part of the company. It requires access to lots of parts of the company, right? They need to be able to test and learn, because you know you're not going to get it right away, so you need to be able to do that. Creative processes, lack of talent level, don't have the money. So companies aren't doing it. And in fact, the demand gen report said personalization at scale, because that's the only way it really matters, it's one of the biggest challenges. And the at scale part is really important, because let's look back to the gentleman who sent me that really awesome email. It was awesome. But he did a lot of research and a lot of writing. How many of those does he send out a day? 10? I don't know how much good that's going to do for most of your businesses. So you have to figure out how to do it at scale. And there are various ways to achieve your personalization. So let's look at them. Firstly, you can say, I don't care. I'm going to give this person a bad experience. That's an option. Lots of companies do it. Zachary didn't mind. You can do that at volume. I can do millions of those. I can do that day and night. But what's the point? Because no one's going to engage. And in fact, if things go really haywire, somebody's going to put your email up on a slide and make you look bad. That's a waste of time. Waste of time. You can get more personalized, but stay away from the valley. Give your customers a fair experience, like marketing automation, right? And I'm not blasting marketing automation, by the way. Marketing automation is awesome. It's just kind of a blunt instrument, right? It's like a hammer. It's a super useful tool, but you wouldn't use it to repair a watch, right? So marketing automation can give you that kind of blunt instrument, high volume, fair experience. Engagement will be kind of low. You can shoot for the great experience. Obviously, if you can achieve it, you're going to get high engagement, just like with the other folks. But generally means low volume, like we saw. But until now, so if you look, there are solutions out there, mine's one of them, but that's not why we're here, that actually combine AI and lots of data, and there are automated ways now of actually finding that balance and getting that great experience at a high engagement level, but at high volumes. So, all right, super creepy personalization. Way number 5, just go ahead and personalize poorly just so you can achieve scale. People do it all the time. All right, waste of time. The good news is, thesaurus.com tells us if we can achieve good personalization, make our customers happy, we can give the opposite of creepy. We can be pleasant. We can be nice. We can be unscary. Who knew there was even such a word as unscary? But there is. All right, so in summary, God. The 5 best ways to make your personalization super creepy and how to avoid them if you choose. Way number 1, as we said, personalize by getting close to human, but not quite. How to avoid it. If you're not going to hit human, give cues. Give cues to proactively signal that it's not 100% human. So you see it all the time. The better chatbots. Even if they are trying to act human-like, the picture will be obviously not a human, right? Things like that. Give a clue. Don't make their subconscious figure it out, because by then it's too late. Okay? 2, personalize to the point that you get too personal. Target. How do you solve that? Take it step by step. As you're building your personalization practice, your strategies, start super conservatively. You'd rather give people not as good an experience but not make a mistake. And then ramp it up as you gather more data, because data is the lifeblood of doing it right. Number 3, personalize without considering context. So you're going to use the data to inform you how much to personalize, as we discussed. But also, and this is a trick a lot of companies aren't doing, especially early on, use the data to figure out how much to not personalize as well. The data is valuable for both, and you have to look at both sides of the equation. 4, personalize without adding commensurate value. Right? We talked about that. And make sure that you're considering attributes that lead people to tolerate personalization. We had a list of them on the other slides. These slides are going to be available, so make sure you're taking those into account when you're doing your personalization. And number 5, personalize poorly in order to achieve scale. Do it right or don't. Just do it right or don't. So commit the people, or automate, or both, to make it a fully human experience for the customer. Or make your decision that you're not going to do that. That's okay too. Or go home. But don't shoot for the moon if you're not going to do it right. Okay? That is my presentation.